chairman of the press, we are all aware the federal government, state government, religious leaders, traditional rulers, and other well-meaning Nigerians have been appealing to organizers of these protests to shape their plan. These appeals are to a great extent understandable, given the fact that the federal government is already addressing the issues that the organizers of the protests have stated as the reasons for planning to embark on nationwide protests. Beyond the issues already being addressed, there are genuine concerns that the protests will be hijacked by entities and persons with less than sincere intentions, people who are proxies for terrorist cells and agents for foreign interests that are out to destabilize Nigeria. It is consequently shocking for the acting PDP national chairman, Ambassador Damagun, to openly endorse the planned nationwide protest. He even went further to ignorantly criticize the government for persuading will-be protesters to hold off on the protest. While this is shocking, Ambassador Damagun's incitement of the protesters is no surprise, since one of the owners of the PDP and its permanent presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, had made a similar ill-advised call for the protest and only stopped short of calling for the overthrow of the government. We have noted that there is more to this endorsement of the protest by the PDP and its chieftains than they are admitting to Nigerians. The conscience of democracy in Nigeria wishes to remind Damagun and those for whom he runs errands that the log is in their eyes. They should first look at what they contributed to the cost of living and economic crisis facing Nigeria today. President Bola Tinubu's administration may be incumbent today, but the foundation for what we are collectively experiencing today was led by the PDP 16 years of misrule, which was fortunately truncated by committed patriots and Democrats. And because the PDP had anticipated that it will rule over Nigeria for over 60 years, unfortunately, Nigerians rejected them when they are at the verge of collapsing the country. Furthermore, with the appellation of ambassador, Damagun is aware that Nigeria is a federating entity with 36 states and the FCT, out of which the PDP controls 13 states. The implication is that the PDP is still responsible for 1/3 of the country. So if there is bad governance, Damagun and his allies should accept part ownership instead of pretending that they made no contribution to the current state of affairs, which the incumbent federal government is trying to remedy, by the way. The Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAC, allocation to state has almost tripled since the latest 2023. So far, the states have received 379 billion, 366 billion, 398 billion, and 403 billion as statutory allocation from FAC for January, February, March, and April, respectively, which is amounting to a total of 1.548 trillion disbursement to state governors alone in the first 4 months of the year. Similarly, the local government areas, which operate more like state appendices, thanks to President Bola Tinubu, who ensure that the local government regain their autonomy. The local government have received 278 billion, 267 billion, 288 billion, and 293 billion, amounting to 1.126 trillion. Yet, 55% of food perish no rural road in states, including those controlled by the PDP, because the right things are not done. Has the PDP been able to point out that the states it controls fare differently? No. Instead, the PDP has deepened the culture of perverted godfathers cornering state resources, as Nyesom Wike is attempting to do in Rivers State. Why did the PDP not lead a protest against hardship in the 13 states it controls, and see the outcome of the effectiveness as a precursor to such campaign on a national scale. Another area we think Damagun deliberately played the ostrich is ignoring the terrorism and foreign interests linked to some of the organizers of the planned protest, and how these same groups were behind the Occupy Nigeria protest and later the NSAS protest. The PDP acting national chairman is aware of how these groups started this protest as peaceful, only to graduate them into horrific sprees of arson and looting. Some organizations and states are yet to recover from the destruction of infrastructure by looters, while the current crime rate in the country has connection with the release of prisoners by the protesters at those times. Gentlemen of the press, the conscience of democracy in Nigeria is aware of past instances where the opposition had sought to use public arrest and citizen insurrection to overthrow the government, having realized that they are unable to legitimately take over government through the ballot box. And we see this hardship protest as them taking another shot at sacking the government using illegitimate means. We have noted their assertion that the right to protest is constitutionally guaranteed, but what they are not telling Nigerians is how they have perfected plots to plan, train killers and arsonists among protesters to trigger violence that will require the intervention of law enforcement agencies, and consequently result in allegations of high-handedness against the government of the day so that they can make it unpopular internationally and delegitimize its tenure. The legitimizing of the government is planned to be followed by a call for an interim government, which Damagun is said to be planning to put forward the name of the PDP member in the current government as a suitable interim leader of the country. We all know that that person is Nyesom Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, on whose behalf Damagun is running the PDP, hence his haste to endorse, back, and support the planned protest. We call this playing with fire. We are further concerned by the revelation that Damagun and his associates, as sponsors of the planned protest, have engaged the services of Western media organizations and international NGOs to demonize the federal government with a focus on claiming that it has lost legitimacy if the protests are allowed to go ahead. The PDP has reportedly lined up people to grant interviews to this media organization to deepen the warped narrative that the protest should automatically be taken as citizen referendum to sack the government. Again, this is playing with fire. These matters are ordinarily things we should leave for the intelligence and law enforcement agencies to deal with. But Damagun alliance with Nyesom Wike makes his support of the planned protest exceptionally dangerous for the country. We see it as Damagun having a vantage position to sabotage the government from the inside as Wike's ally, and this is a risk Nigeria must not take. Arising from the foregoing, the conscience of democracy in Nigeria hereby demands the resignation of Ambassador Ilya Umar Damagun as the acting national chairman of the PDP, having confirmed that he holds that position to undermine and sabotage Nigeria. We call on the Office of the National Security Advisor to immediately set up an inquiry into the activities of Damagun and his link to the planned protest, including liaising with some person in the immediate past administration of President Buhari and international entities to sabotage Nigeria. We also call on the Department of State Services to invite Damagun for questioning, to shed light on certain meetings he has had with protest organizers and the funds he has disbursed to them. Thank you very much.